Hello there, hope you're okay. My name's John. I retired in 2020 and I started my journey to the Philippines in 2022 and I've been here ever since to escape the rat race of the UK and the West altogether. Anyway, today I want to talk about respect because respect is a dying tradition, as we all know. I mean, the kids in the West, they haven't got much respect left for anybody, really. I mean, I can't talk for all of them, obviously, but if you go into the inner cities, like where I live, which is Birmingham, the kids are so cheeky and they'll steal off you, they'll come to you, they'll kick you, they'll throw stones at you for no reason at all, even if you're just walking past. I mean, hey Baldy, what you doing? Hey Baldy, give me some money. Hey Baldy, what you doing in this area? You know, you can't seem to walk anywhere. But is that down to the way they was brought up? I don't know. It could be. You know, I was brought up to be very polite, and my mum's still alive now. She's 87 years old, and she still says now, I'm very proud of my kids because you was all brought up with manners, which we were. You know, and manners is a big thing anywhere in the world. I mean, that's what I love about the Philippines. The kids are so respectful. Yeah, they have a laugh, but they don't do anything bad. They don't call you bad names, you know. In fact, they'll say, hello sir, how are you? Hello sir, how's your day? Hello sir, what's your name? This is what I really, really like, you know. But and also the people, grown-ups are the same. I mean, in the UK, if you look, or anywhere in the West for that matter, if you look at somebody wrong, they'll try and start a fight with you or something even worse, you know. You get knifed or battered, or they call all the friends. That's just for looking at somebody. I mean, I've seen it. I've actually watched people with machetes fighting just because one looked at the other in a way they didn't like. You know, this is wrong. I don't see any of that in the Philippines. You know, I know I'm bullying up the Philippines because I love it. I mean, there's not many tourists at the moment because of all the problems we've had here. But I'm sure it'll come back, you know. People, they forget easily. And in the Philippines, we've got to carry on. We've got to move on. I mean, we've had the earthquakes and the typhoons, you know. But we get on with it. We get on life with as it is. Anyway, going back to respect, I want to tell you a little story about my dad. Now, in the 60s, my dad was a tool setter, and he used to work at a place called the Valor, which was a very known factory. I think they still make fires and cookers now, but I've actually worked in the Valor as a subcontractor doing the heating, and it was probably one of the cleanest factories I've ever been into. The place is spotless, absolutely spotless, and the people who work in there are very, very nice, you know. But like I say about my dad, he never had a lot of money. His wage was £17 a week in the 60s, which is, it's pennies. It's about what, $22 a week. I mean, for a skilled man, I suppose that was good money. And he worked there for around about 10 years until he got made redundant. And I remember him having £170 as his redundancy money, and he felt like he was a millionaire. But that's another story. But going on back to my dad, you know, like I said, we never had a lot of money. We lived in a back-to-back house. I don't know if you know what that is. It's house is built back. It is what it is. It's back-to-back. I mean, there's a house at the front and a house at the back in a row of about 6. That was called slum houses in the old days, which I suppose they were, because my mum and dad, they weren't rich. My mum had a part-time job at the greengrocers at the bottom of the road, and she enjoyed it because she got out the house for a little bit. She was able to meet people and have a chat. You know, my mum loves chatting. She loves chatting now. But my dad used to walk to work every morning and walk back at night, which was about 3 miles from where we lived. We lived in a place called Hockley. And to walk to the Valor, which was in Erdington, in all the shortcuts, because obviously he walked it every day. But he walked to work to make sure that we could have shoes and clothes. The money was terrible in those days, but it still went a long way. He used to have one drink every Sunday afternoon with his friends in the pub down the bottom of the entry. And he used to have he used to smoke. He used to smoke Park Drive, but he gave those up in the 80s. I mean, he was a great bloke. He looked after us. I remember at once we all had measles. Well, there was four of us, four kids. We all had measles, and he got these like brown paper bags, and he put them over the lights so it wouldn't affect our eyes. You know, parents don't do that nowadays. It's all gone. I don't know where the world's going to. I really don't. You know, but my dad, I've got to give him so much respect, because what he did for us was unbelievable. Can you imagine kids or parents nowadays walking to just to make sure the kids have got shoes and clothes and there was eating? You know, I don't think so, because now you can, if you're not on a very high wage, now you can claim off the welfare state. You couldn't do that in them days. There was no such thing. I mean, when I was a kid, you had to pay to go to the doctors until the NHS was formed. You know, everybody had to pay to go to the doctors, and mum and dad couldn't afford it always. I think children was free if you had a child and there was something wrong with the child. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, you know, respect, where has it all gone to? My dad was a great guy. He died when he was 90 years old. He worked until he was 65 and retired. And he always said to me, whatever you do when you retire, don't just sit down and watch television all day, because you won't last long. And he was correct, because he got himself a part-time job sweeping up school playgrounds, or sweeping a forecourt on a pub, or sweeping the petrol forecourt. You know, and people used to pay him cash in hand. You know, it wasn't a lot, but he didn't want the money. He did it just to get out of the house and get some exercise in. He was a hard worker. He would never stop. He'd walk he loved his walking. When we would go on holidays, he used to walk us to death, literally. I mean, you could get the bus down to the pub, which was 2 miles away, and you say, no, let's walk, it do us good. It's good for your exercise, you know. Anyway, my dad, when he got to his 85, I'm afraid dementia got to him. And when dementia gets to you, that's it. I mean, he didn't even know who I was. He literally didn't. And from 85 till 90, he was in an old people's home. And you know, my mum used to go and visit him every single day. Even on Christmas Day, she'd get one of my brothers or my sisters to take her up in the car. Or even me, I'd take her sometimes, you know. But I must admit, I feel bad because I didn't go and see him later in life, because yeah, he was my dad, but he didn't know who I was. And I did see him about 4 times while he was in the home. I know that's bad, and I feel like a bad person now, but my mum, she persevered. She loved him so much, and she misses him now. I mean, I call my mum every 2 weeks and I say, how are you, Mum? She says, I'm lonely. I say, don't worry, Mum, I'll be home soon. I'm going home in June to see my mum, you know, and take her out somewhere. Hopefully I can bring my wife back with me, but that's up to UK immigration. You know, she's got everything. She's got her own house, she's got her own car, she's got her own money, so I don't see there's going to be a problem there. Okay then, I just thought I'd give you a story about that and respect. You know, how are we going to get respect back? I really don't know. Anyway folks, have a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.